Hello everybody. This is a short video which will show you what you're going to be doing in week 1. So if you're on the home page of the course, you'll notice that the name of module 1 as well as the name of module 1 as well as the picture are linked to the main Canvas page, which will take you to the module 1, which starts on December 8th. So you're going to click module 1 and you're going to be on the page which is going to go through the 3 steps: the jump, the execute, and the stick for this module. This module is about learning about flipping and other innovative strategies as you reflect on your disciplinary practice, and we're going to take a look at the educational literature. This module will take you about 2.5 to 3 hours to complete over a 3-week period. So this is a 3-week module that starts on the 8th of December and ends on the 28th of December. You'll notice there's 2 videos here. One is a module about, and this just kind of talks about why we're looking at the educational literature and what this module is about. And this video, which will become active after I finish recording it here, will actually take you step by step through what you're going to be doing. So the objectives are to think about your pedagogy, technologies, um, strategies for teaching that are evident already in the education literature related to your disciplinary traditions or focusing on topics that you want to look at. And we're going to also look at concepts or what we call bottlenecks, which are areas where your students have trouble. So sometimes trying to understand where students are having trouble will help with your course and your teaching, because you'll be able to understand where the students are and do a better job of presenting the material for them in a way that they can understand it. We're also going to look at some active learning strategies in the educational literature. So before you can really start planning your flip, you really need to look at what's out there already. You don't want to recreate videos if they're already out there. If somebody's already done something in your discipline that you think is a great idea, then maybe you might want to think about using that for your course as opposed to trying to recreate the wheel. You're also going to learn how to use an online software called Diigo, which is a social bookmarking software, and you're going to create a group folder that you're going to make public as you go through the literature and record um, material that you find that you think will be helpful to your course. And then we're going to share those at the end of the 3 weeks. So for the jump part of this week, you're going to take an online 1-question survey, pre-module survey. This is the actual survey. So I'd like you to reflect on what you think is good learning and good teaching. So I want you to recall a memorable learning experience that you've had as either a teacher or a student, and record that there. And then I'm going to compile all those examples. Since it's an anonymous survey, I'll just list them all so we can look at what we all think good learning is all about. Then you're going to participate in a week 1 discussion and going to discuss problems that your students have in your class. The literature calls these bottlenecks. There's actually a pedagogical body of literature called Decoding the Disciplines and Threshold Concepts, which looks at what people in the disciplines have already identified as problem areas in disciplines. So you're going to look at these sub-questions and kind of answer those with your peers at the beginning of the week to get things started. Then you're going to actually read an article about Decoding the Disciplines, which was written by Joan Middendorf and David Pace back in 2004. And Joan is a historian, so she did a lot of work on interviewing faculty to find out what the bottlenecks are for history students. We're not going to go through the whole 7-step model that's depicted in this article, but we are going to start our discussion about thinking about creating good learning in our flipped classes by thinking about where our students might be getting stuck in our courses. This is a very short video that you can watch. that talks about decoding the disciplines and threshold concepts by a variety of people across different disciplines, an artist, a historian, a writing faculty member. And then I have a link for some additional references that, if you're interested, these are not required reading, these are just optional. And this is an example of what you're going to be creating, a DIGO group folder on a topic of your interest. So this is one that I created around threshold concepts and decoding the discipline. So I went out to the literature and I found a whole bunch of material related to threshold concepts in computer science and engineering, in research, in math. So there's a lot of literature already out there of things that some people have identified as problem areas for students. Okay. After you take a look at all that, you're going to go on to the execute phase, and this is where you're actually going to do stuff. You're going to set up a DIGO account. This is a tutorial that will help you do that. You're going to, you could watch this video if you have any trouble with doing that. You're going to also set up a DIGO group folder, and you might want to set up more than one folder. Maybe you'll set up a folder for a topic that's within your course that you want to research, or you could set up a group folder about where you're going to put links to YouTube videos that have already been created that you could utilize in your flipped course, because why create the wheel and do extra work if you don't have to? You also might want to just look at what's being done in your discipline in innovative teaching practices. So this tutorial will help you, will show you how to bookmark, and it will show you how to set up group folders that you can use to collect the resources that you'll be finding. The third step here is these are 2 DIGO lists that will help you find resources in educational journals. So instead of just going out and trying to find educational journals, I've accumulated some resources here. So if you're at the U of U, you can click full list of psychology databases. It takes you right to the database page for our library. You can click Psych Info. Since I'm not on campus, it's going to want me to authenticate, and I'm going to do that. And then I'm right there, and I can search like physics teaching. So if I was looking for some strategies in physics teaching. So here's one, concept maps in teaching physics. Draw your physics homework, art as a path to understanding in physics teaching. So these might be some resources that might be interesting for you to check out. Okay. Also on this list, and this is a special one I want to tell you about. This is National Academies Press, and they have a really awesome education part, and also a lot of publications in the sciences. So if you go up to the top right-hand corner, which you can't see on the screen, but there's a little button there that says register and set up an account, you can actually look at these resources and download free PDFs. So, for example, I'm going to see if I can find my favorite one, which is a John Branson's book on how people learn. Oh dear, that's not good. Okay, well, take my word for it, it's here. So if you're looking for that book, which is kind of a seminal book that was written about the difference between learners that are novices and learners that are experts, it's a really interesting read, and you can download it for free if you register at the National Academies Press. The Teaching and Learning Journal list, I have a link to some online journals, peer-reviewed journals that you can take a look at and search your topic in there to see if there's anything there that might be interesting. If you want to look at specific disciplinary journals, you can click on this directory of teaching and learning journals. And then over here on the side, you can select your discipline. So if I select engineering, then down here it will show me all of the engineering journals that have been identified where people are publishing research and articles related to education in the area of engineering. So you can see there's quite a few of them. Okay. So these two links are lists that are already set up in Diigo that will help you find journals easier than having to go out and find them yourself. I also put in a tutorial to Google Scholar on how to connect Google Scholar to the University of Utah library databases. And this is a real time saver for me. And a lot of times I don't start in the library webpage. I go out to Google Scholar and I start from there. So for example, if I wanted to do, let's do decoding the disciplines, and I search my Google, I have my settings already set up, and that tutorial will show you how to do this. So I can go get it at the U, and it will take me right to the library database and tell me what database it's available in. So it's available in 2 different databases, or maybe not. So let's try this one. University Teaching Behind the Disciplines. So I'm going to try here. So then this will take me directly into EBSCOhost so that I can get there from Google Scholar. I don't have to go to the library catalog and try to figure out which database this article might be in. I can do it from Google Scholar, which really I think saves me a lot of time. I really like doing that. Now I have to get back to my Canvas. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Okay, here we go. And then the last one is to post at least one Diigo group folder URL to this assignment area so that we can compile all of the resources that all of you guys find so that we can share resources. So in this case, it's just an assignment. You're going to click submit this assignment. You're going to paste in a URL right here and click submit. Or you can go to website URL and post it in here and click submit. Either way will work. You might have more than one. You might have more than one link that you want to share. So more than one link would be fine. You can just paste them into that box, but we'd like you to submit at least one link to this assignment after you have done your research. And then there's a wrap-up discussion forum, and this is where you're just going to go to wrap up what you learned, to talk a little bit about how you think Diigo might work for your research or not work for your research. If you guys find that this isn't useful, there are some other tools such as MayaNoteWeb and Zotero that we could use to help you collect resources. Okay. So that's going to be it for what you're going to do over the next 3 weeks. So take your time. The tutorials are pretty short, under 10 minutes each. The video, I think, is 6 minutes each. Is 6 minutes just decoding the disciplines. So take your time, go through the material, and I'm anxious to get to meet all you guys and find out what you're doing and what information you're finding that you think will be useful.